So we're going to go into town, pick up a few bits. The weather looks nice, but it's still pretty chilly outside. So come along for the ride and see a bit of footage, guys. My exhaust blowing, guys. Hopefully it's just a loose joint and not a hole. Otherwise you've got to pay out for a new bit of exhaust. And I just hope that it's not the part with the catalytic converter in it, because then you've got to sort of have a bit of a re-evaluate of whether it's worth paying out for, because they're very expensive, those parts. So, yeah, been a busy week at work. It's been a bit mad at times, running around between different customers and what have you, and, you know, then finding out that the job was going to be a bit longer and harder to do than you first thought and stuff like that. So, but, you know, it's by the by, innit? It's work at the end of the day. So, yeah, that bit coming out of the village, I just thought I'd show you a different view. I didn't have to go that way or anything, so I just went down the street instead and out past the duck pond and down what's known as Markman Lane. And you wouldn't know it driving down there. It's actually got a thriving little industry down there. What there actually is, I don't know. If I can see it in the footage, I'll point it out. I don't know that it shows up. But just to the left on the way down there, once you get out of the village proper, there's actually an egg farm. Now, I've never seen inside it myself, but I do know that it's actually quite a little good money spinner sort of thing for whoever owns it. And it's totally, or more or less totally, run off solar power. There's a huge bank of solar panels in the field near it, and that's what's basically powering the place. And I know that it doesn't need a lot of actual manpower in it to run it. It's mainly mechanised, but I'm not sure what conditions the hens are kept under or anything like that, so I couldn't tell you if it's like a battery thing. I don't know that it actually is. I think they're fairly free to roam, but you see, the thing is, what's happened is over the years chickens have gotten that used to being inside that they now prefer to be inside, a lot of them. So but yeah, it's interesting. I'd love to see inside it. I do like seeing that sort of thing and how it all works. So yeah, it's like I say, it's life's busy again. It's you know, I've had the, I mean, most days you finish by sort of anywhere between 4:30, 5:30, you know, with an 8 o'clock start sort of thing. But I did have one night that was rather late, Friday night, yeah, and that was just, that was crazy. I didn't finish till about 7, half 7, something like that, I'm not sure. I think it was definitely 7:30 by the time I got home anyway. So I think I've decided I won't be buying the Mavic Air once I get round to it. I think I've pretty much decided that now. I think it's more likely that I will go for the original sort of Mavic Pro version. But I'm going to wait and see what the next couple of months brings, at least, because there is strong rumours that a new one will be coming, hopefully with the 1-inch sensor from the Phantom 4 Pro in it, which is I'm sure it's a 1-inch, is it 1-inch? I know it's a full frame sensor anyway, so that'll be interesting. But you know, obviously these are all just rumours at the minute. Yeah, don't let the look of the weather fool you. It's it actually feels cold. I mean, it's saying 8 degrees on the car here, and the car seems to be relatively accurate. But it feels a lot colder out there. It feels a lot colder. So yeah, he's just turned back up Marmon Lane now. So anyway, I'm cooking a beef dinner today. I can manage with what I've got, but I do need to pick up another sack of potatoes, so I might go and pick those up tomorrow or something like that. Maybe evening or something like that. I'll just go and pick them up. But no, other than that, everything's hunky-dory, guys. Just busy. It's, you know, I've got don't know if that's a police car behind me. Could be an unmarked police car behind me, but I'm not 100% certain. It's not the best of junctions, this one. Yeah, he's following me. I don't think it is actually looking now. I think it just looks like a couple out for a drive. But yeah, it is still rather chilly out there today. I mean, the clouds are starting to thicken up here and there, so we might be in for a bit of cold weather. I know we've had a fair bit of rain here and there, and the odd sleet, but nothing white like we've had over. When was it? Last week? Was it last week? I had the snow. The week before, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the week before I had the snow and ice. Last week was relatively dry as well, but although it rained on the morning, I think. I know they've had a few break-ins up and down the village over the last couple of weeks. Mainly, the main thing actually seems to be work vans getting broken into. And apparently, I don't know how true it is because I don't get around there that often now. The village shop had a break-in as well. It had its window put through, but I don't know how true that is. So but got an ambulance over there. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's, I'm sort of struggling a bit today, and I don't know why. I'm normally full of waffle to talk about, but I'm not. It's probably because I've got less time to talk. Too much time working. So, but yeah, I'm sure I'll find more to talk about as the vlog goes on. But yeah, it's a bit. I don't know why I'm struggling so much, to be honest, guys. But anyway, I'm gonna go in and crack on. What time are we at? 2 o'clock. So give it another hour, and I'll have to start getting heavy on the tea, cooking, and All the birds are coming back, I've noticed. I've got... no, those are... crocuses, yeah. The crocuses are poking through. And... so are the daffodils, actually. Yeah, I've got some daffodils. And over there, yes, there are some tulips coming through as well. So pretty much everything's coming through. I've got a feeling our snowdrops must have died because we did have some snowdrops down there. So... yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Once everything starts to flower, I'll know what's coming through a bit better. But yeah, I haven't seen my snowdrops this year. They would normally have been through and gone by now, unless we're going to have a late flower off everything. So I'm sure you all saw this. And that is what we could see from here, basically out the front of the house there. It came out okay, really, considering when I think that you know, that was actually filmed with my camcorder in manual mode, and I had to play around with the settings and what have you. And obviously, with a camcorder, you haven't got like ultimate control over all your settings. You know, you've just got very basic sort of. It's just sort of like you've just got like these steps that say it's basically this is for cloudy weather, this is for night time, this is for, you know, and it's so you get it, and then obviously you open up your aperture and it just gives you basically statuses rather than what the actual aperture is set at. So let me just get rid of that notification. They are so annoying, notifications, when they come when you're trying to record. I suppose I should try and remember to put it in airplane mode. So yeah, I mean, I thought it came out all right, really, considering. You know, and obviously, when it got higher in the sky, it was much more silver, you know. And then later on, it was actually so bright you could hardly even look at it. It was just this glowing white orb. So yeah, it came out all right anyway. But I did put it up on the Instagram, so some of you will have already seen that, minus the soundtrack. I think I added that later. So yeah, I've had tea now. I've just got my kitchen to clean up next. And there was... I mean, there's another problem now between the phone and Final Cut. Now, I don't know if it's... There's been a few little updates here and there. Now, last week it didn't do this, it didn't have this problem, but this week it has. And what's actually happened is Final Cut is refusing to export the footage from the phone, which is what I'm using now. So right now, while I've got it unplugged, what's actually happened is you can see the footage strings are there, but of course it's all just a red image telling you that the footage is missing. As soon as I plug the phone back in, it'll reconnect and it'll show it again. It shows it's still on the camera, so it's referencing the camera, i.e. the phone, but it's refusing to re-import it. If you go to re-import it, just basically it just hangs. It's just there trying to import it, but it's not actually importing. So obviously I'm just hoping that this bit will import when I go back and plug it in. So very strange, but it didn't do it last week, so I'm not sure what's going on there really, but yeah, hopefully it'll come out all right anyway. So yeah, it's just it's been quite a... The weeks are much shorter now that I'm working, let's put it that way, and you feel like you've achieved much more. So, you know, hence you feel better about yourself and so on and so forth. So that is much better for me right now. There was something I wanted to tell you about and I can't remember what it was. I don't know that I'm actually working tomorrow now, so probably what I'll do tomorrow is I'll go upstairs and I'll finish recording that review for the headphones Darren knows which ones I mean. He's got a set of them. He's already done his review, so do make sure you check that out. And that's Darren Gator. I think that's his YouTube handle. Sure it is, but I'll leave a link below anyway. I'll leave a link direct to the video. I know he's just uploaded another one today, which I've yet to check. I've still got to check Robert Cooper's vlog. He's very busy on Steemit at the minute. I've sort of been across and made the odd comment and upvote here and there and stuff like that, but I don't actually get the time to sit and actually really make any posts of my own. The trouble is, it's all right just putting a video on there, but nobody's going to take the time to stop and just look at a video. So you need to enrich that post with some text and what have you. That's the bit that I don't really. I'm not a fast typer. That's the bit that sort of holds me up. If I went and, let's say I got this uploaded to YouTube by, I don't know, say 10 o'clock or something like that, if I then started to write a post and what have you, it'd be midnight before I got anywhere near. And unfortunately, unlike Mr. Cooper, I can't stay up till all hours, who manages to stay up till quite late, burning the candle at both ends and still get up and go to work the next day. I know Gordon Keenan's on there now, and he's done some posts as well, which have been upvoted, but I haven't had a chance to make a comment on his, I don't think. No, I'm pretty sure I haven't, which I keep meaning to go and do and go and have a bit of a nosy, but like I say, it's all down to time. The tripod that this is standing on at the minute, it's not an expensive one. I can't remember what brand it is now. It's a Velbon. It's actually my dad's. So not an expensive brand or anything, but it's quite a sturdy thing actually. It's much better than the cheap one that I had anyway. But it is a cheaply made one. It hasn't cost a lot of money, but it is very nice. So that's the one I'm sort of using at the minute. It goes a little bit taller than my other cheap one did as well. So and it's nice and light. With it being one of the cheaper brands, it's very light, so it's ideal for just sort of carrying around and what have you. I mean, mainly I only carry it from room to room around the house and that anyway, but occasionally it does go out and about. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with it actually. So the stuff I've been watching lately on YouTube and what have you, let's think, I've been watching a lot more sort of camera reviews and stuff like that, mainly from the likes of, what do you call him? His channel is just Kai W. It's Kaimun Wong, I think his name is. He's quite a tongue-in-cheek character. I quite like his stuff actually. And I know he's just recently done the GH5S, which is the new one from Lumix, of course. And obviously it's not really a. It's been aimed more at a videographer's camera, but because of that, they've lowered the megapixel. They wanted to increase the low light performance and stuff like that, which they've done all that. But it now lacks in in-body image stabilization, which for a vlogger it's not much cop. If they go handheld, it's obviously now designed more as a cinematographic camera, so you'd be more likely to be mounting it in a gimbal or something like that. But to use just handheld, you now haven't got the image stabilization. But I mean, as long as you're careful with your movements and what have you, and it's not a far cry more than the original GH5, which I mean, that's what I was thinking of getting as my next camera at some point. I mean, I'm just watching the prices on them now, and they're at the minute they're holding, but chances are they will come down a little bit more as the GH5 becomes more accessible on places like Amazon and the likes. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting camera. So there's always a lot of stuff that you want, isn't there? But you just can't always afford it, not straight away at least anyway. So anyway, I've already put a photograph of a chunk of the timeline up on Instagram actually from this video, where I had to take the photograph with the iPad with the phone still plugged into the Mac, because otherwise you had chunks of the timeline missing. but it shows you all like the speed ramps and stuff like that, and in the foreground there is my beef dinner with Yorkshire puddings as I eat it. I've already noticed one comment from I think it's Ram Francis, who said I can see an empty spot on the plate where you could get something on there, and I hadn't actually touched it at that point either. It was just a very quick snap I took, mainly to get in the final cut timeline for this video actually. So yeah, he does come up with some funny quips every now and then. Other than the supermoon and my final sort of like decision on the DJI stuff, I did actually also sign up. I mean, I don't expect to get anywhere with it at all. They're obviously looking for people with far more viewed channels than mine. I did sign up for the DJI. They were looking for testers for, I mean, I think applications is closed now, I'm not sure. But they were looking for testers for their new goggles for racing and stuff like that. It's the racing edition they are, and they'll work with any sort of radio controlled equipment and what have you, because you can, I'm not sure if they have a separate camera that comes with them or what, you know, like a small sort of first person view camera, I'm not sure. But obviously there's only going to be, I think, 5 sets sent out, so you know, they just opened up the application system for it, which I applied, but I don't expect to get anywhere with it. But yeah, that's about it, guys. That's pretty much my last sort of week in a nutshell. In a 20 odd minute video, I think it'll end up being something like that. It usually does. I'm not very good at cutting back the fat on videos, you know, but I do try. Sorry if you don't think I try hard enough. So anyway, guys, I hope you're all well, looking after yourselves, and yeah, from me, that's it. So do take care of yourselves, guys, and I will see you in next week's vlog. Cheers, guys. See ya.